Cup, brought to you by the Nickel Plate. Sit, sip, savor, and shop.
Hi, everyone. Good morning to you. It's 8 o'clock on the start of your Friday morning. It's funny because I think John is producing Second Cup this morning, and he pulled my camera up, and I'm like, oh, gosh, does this mean we're going off of my computer?
Well, and also,
Sure does.
I was literally just telling Ed that my internet just dropped out. And I'm like, why does it do that? Does your work internet ever do that? Or frankly, your house internet?
Isn't that the worst when
Like,
your internet just doesn't work?
Working all morning, and then it's like, you know what? Not right now.
And the one thing that you rely on constantly in your house or in your office is the one thing that fails you most. Like outside of the printer,
Oh, the printer.
it's
Don't
the internet.
even get me started. Where were we talking about
Just
this?
here.
Was it here?
Yeah, the other day.
God, that printer.
I know. The printer will get you every single time.
I forgot you were here. I'm like, I can't believe you have printers. It really. I can't.
What button did Ed press again? I swear I didn't do anything. However, I did just post a really funny Instagram reel on my WKBW Instagram page. So if you follow me at Dranch TV, and then also follow at WKBW and Morse Cat, you'll see it. It's really funny. We were talking about wrapping paper this morning and how Aaron is very impressed with us. And of course, he does all the wrapping in his house.
Okay, now we're back online. So I usually buy all my wrapping paper now, but like I honestly, last year I looked at my stash and I have like 3 unopened rolls.
Is that what you call it? Do you have a stash at home?
Yeah, I got a lot of them, all different kinds of stashes. Ask my husband.
What kind of stash?
Like all kinds. So what do you want? What do you need?
It sounds like you've got marijuana.
The
at home.
gifting stash, but the gifting stash is.
Oh, we're gonna go to this camera now. Okay.
Okay.
Let's
The
switch.
gifting stash is a good one because I got bags for days.
Okay.
Tissue paper,
Ooh.
wrapping paper,
bows.
bows. Here's a good one. About the bows that I put on any present I give people.
You know, the bows in particular are hard to come by.
Yeah, well, not in my house, and I can tell you why. I got a hutch that I got from my friend's grandma.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is probably, and I got this hutch, I'm going to say like easily 10 years ago. It's from
This
her
is one that you-
grandma. The green one,
Okay,
like the
okay,
pretty
yeah.
green one. There was a drawer inside of it. Her grandma filled it with bows.
I love that.
And she's since passed away. And so I got this hutch, and every time I need a bow, every bow that you get from me is probably 30 years old.
Can I ask you a question? Do you save and recycle your bows? Like, if you give somebody a bow, do you
Do I
ask
rip
for
it off
back?
their present? No.
Okay.
No, because these are like just regular, And it's funny because though, maybe her grandma did though, because some of the ones are like their sticky's gone,
Yeah.
but I just tape them right on.
Okay, that's fair. I mean,
I have a literal drawer of bows.
that's so
So
funny.
that's my stash.
Marguerite says Ed needs your candy stash. I love candy.
I got a candy stash too. That's in the freezer.
You would.
That's where I keep it.
Lori says, oh, yes, you have to save bows. This year, I was just kind of like over it. Don't
Yeah,
care.
no, I don't save the bows anymore. But I like if somebody gives me a gift bag, I save the bag.
Okay.
So then I've got the bag.
We do the same thing.
Yeah, because why wouldn't you?
Everyone needs a bow drawer. That's so funny. Can we talk about this? Because I think this is really interesting. This actually just came out as breaking news. And I wanted to talk about this because I think that this kind of plays into conversations that we were having earlier in the week about dry January. But I also think that this plays into a role that so many of us do on a daily basis. Not maybe daily is the wrong word to use, but on a frequent basis.
Okay.
We're all drinking these days, right? Like everyone has a drink now and then, except for you because you're pregnant, which sucks. But it doesn't suck that you're pregnant.
No,
it sucks that you
like,
can't have a drink.
Right. There are many things that I can't wait for the outcome, but the process has been tough.
You know what I mean?
Least favorite process.
But okay, so this is just coming in from the Surgeon General, and I think this is kind of really interesting. The Surgeon General is releasing an advisory on the causal link between alcohol consumption and increased cancer risk. Alcohol, he says, is the 3rd leading preventable cause of cancer nationwide,
Right.
contributing to about 100,000 cancer cases and 20,000 cancer deaths every year. So here's what he says. Consuming any type of alcohol, beer, wine, or spirits, increases the risk for at least 7 types of cancer, including breast cancer in both, well, I guess in women. Okay, so breast cancer,
Mhm.
colorectal cancer, esophagus, liver, mouth, throat, and voice box cancer, larynx cancer.
So here's, yes. Okay, so I'm looking at all this stuff right now. Yep. 45% of Americans are aware that consuming alcohol increases their risk of developing cancer. Did you know that? 45. Did you know that? Are you part of that 45%? You didn't really know.
No. I had no idea. Yeah, that's crazy, is what Melly says. Uh-oh, Anita says some of us are screwed. I mean, when you consider the way that it passes through your body, it's almost like it's the places that it travels through are most likely to get cancer. But to, like mouth and throat cancer from drinking, I mean, that's really interesting. Do you think, what does this mean for you? Does that mean anything for you? He's basically saying that alcohol should carry a warning from the Surgeon General, just as tobacco does, like cigarette products.
Interesting. Now, does it too? Not yet, I guess. It's interesting.
Howard, everything seems to be bad for you. Breathing is bad for your health, he says. All in moderation, folks.
Right.
Be mindful and demure.
Megan says, what doesn't cause cancer? I know. Kelly, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die happy. Everything causes cancer. You got to live your life. Yeah, Howard, it's funny because Howard says GMA is playing the story right now. I looked over and was watching it. Yeah, and Jason says, what about the occasional drink? I think that's maybe what I'd like clarification on.
Okay, so this is what they say. Higher alcohol consumption increases alcohol-related cancer. So it sounds like if you're drinking more,
Sure.
you're likely,
More likely.
right, develop cancer.
Is there like a number? Is there a, you know what I mean? Cancer risk increases as you drink more. But like, that's kind of what I'd be interested in hearing. Like, can you quantify that for me?
Okay, so here's what he says, and I don't know. As you consider whether or how much to drink, keep in mind that less is better when it comes to cancer risk. So maybe Howard's right, like everything in moderation.
That's how I truthfully, like, I think that's how you have to live.
I agree.
Listen, if you need to cut something out for a hardcore reason, I get it. Like, if you can't drink alcohol for a reason, I get it. If you can't have, whatever, I totally get it. Everything in moderation, like, and we're talking stuff that, like, I don't know. Like, when I think about like everything in moderation, like, I wouldn't encourage anybody to smoke in moderation because we know just that's so bad.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But like, so there's some things, I think the things that like we don't, are still learning about or whatever.
Stop trying to take my joy. Vivek Murthy, or what's the Surgeon General's name? Murthy? Yeah, Vivek Murthy, Dr. Murthy. Kelsey says, if the jungle juice I consumed in the woods at some bonfire when I was 18 every weekend didn't kill me, then I'll be okay. Jeanette says, if you're serious about quitting, the science behind alcohol will blow you away. I've been sober for almost a year now, and I still can't believe what I've learned about alcohol since quitting. Well, okay, Jeanette, enlighten us. Give us an idea. Our chemical world, Noreen says, is making us sick. Okay, I got to be honest with you. Well, I mean, this doesn't help me sleep, but I'll be honest, Linda, like on New Year's Eve, one of the things that I really was craving, and even on Christmas, like I think it's just this time of year, was Bailey's on the rocks. So I had a 5-pour of Bailey's on the rocks on Christmas Eve, and it was great. Same thing on New Year's Eve, and I felt like, okay, whatever. Like I was enjoying myself. I was having a moderate time.
And I think that, I mean, again, this is me. Everything in moderation. Like, I'm not going to not have a glass of wine or 2 glasses of wine.
Right. Well, what about like enjoying that with dinner?
Obviously now I am, but like, so it depends on where you are in your life. But like, right.
And sometimes like
the same thing with like red meat. We know red meat isn't good for us.
Sure.
But I really like red meat.
I do too. Who doesn't like a steak every now and then?
So like, I'm still going to have it, but I don't have it every day.
So Connie's wondering, does it matter what you're drinking? It doesn't, apparently, according to the Surgeon General. He's saying, wine, beer, spirits. Though Kelly says, go natural, smoke weed. Kelly, it's legal here in New York. So, go visit a dispensary and, buy what you want.
Yeah.
Smoke it if you got it. Kim says there's thyroid cancer, throat cancer, cancer from chewing tobacco, smoking.
Yeah.
Jason, I occasionally have a shot of Krupnik. I think I'll be fine.
Have we had that before?
Yes. Howard says
Spicy.
gummies are a wonderful option. Listen, I'm not going to lie.
Maybe just do though for once.
I agree. And sometimes, like when you are in desperate need of sleep, Heirloom makes a great gummy that'll do the trick for you.
Heard.
Allegedly. Katie, just a heads up, after the babies, I was drunk so much faster. One seltzer, I'm done, then hungover for 2 days.
I will take that into account. I'll be careful.
Marlene, good morning. Too much alcohol also increases your risk of getting dementia. I believe that's what happened to Wendy Williams. Thank you, Marlene. Yikes. Holy cow. That's a case of not reading the entire comment.
It is pretty crazy though when you do, like my mom was saying, she just read an article the other day that said, you know, there are some benefits. And how many times have we seen there's a benefit of drinking a glass of red wine? There's a benefit of drinking da 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 da.
I wonder if it's for the people, though, who are drinking at a frequent and consistent pace.
That's why I'd love to see some numbers.
Sure.
Like how many drinks, how often can you give me even if you're going like by my weight and how many drinks I'm having, like give me an idea. And then I'm sure a lot of doctors will be like, well, we can't really give that. Like it's, you know, whatever. But like, that's kind of what I'd be interested in seeing, I guess.
Chris, apparently too much tequila makes your clothes fall off. So be careful, people.
You know that song?
No, but I think the fact that I thought he came up with it and I thought that was hysterical.
It's a song.
Oh.
It's a country song. Tequila makes her clothes fall off. Yep.
You know,
It's funny.
At the end of the day, a warning's a warning. You got to do what's best for you.
Sure.
I mean, look, we know smoking is bad, so we tell people to quit smoking. There are patches, there are helplines, there are so many resources that are available.
And a lot of this stuff too maybe has to do with like, do you have that addictive personality?
Sure.
Like, are you able to say, hey, I can have 1 or 2 drinks and I'm done?
Do you know
what I mean?
somebody like that in your life?
Oh yeah, I think everybody does. Like
Yeah.
you know people who have just like have addictive personalities, and like so maybe this gears more towards them. Like
Sure.
okay,
It could be anything too.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, food. Some people are addicted to food.
That's
you
a great
know,
point.
like, and then we know like, I mean, that's another great thing. Like to talk about overeating and like like unhealthy eating. You know, like all of this, and we know there are certain kind of foods that can, you know,
Sure.
so.
An interesting conversation nonetheless. You know what else is addicting? These.
Oh my God, they're so honestly, yes,
Our screens.
so true.
And so many of us are trying to figure out how to basically detox and take a break from our phones.
Mhm.
And now the state is trying to offer you an opportunity to get out there, put your phone down with your family, and try and work on your mental health, work on your fitness, rather than trying to deal with mental health and be on your phone at the same time.
They say get offline, get outside. I like that.
I do too.
So you get these little missions and you could go to like state parks, different historic sites. So you're doing these little missions, but at the same time, you're getting out there.
So this is basically encouraging you to put your phone down. Do you see it in your family? And maybe it is this time of year, everyone's on vacation, you're kind of just hanging around, you're a couch potato, the winter's here, you're on your phone, scrolling or...
Do you know what? Here's when I notice the addiction, like concept of phones or like people being on their phones too much. Being older, we try so hard and it takes so much to get together with people.
Mhm.
Okay, friends, even family. Like it's hard to find a time that works for everybody's schedules, get together when you haven't seen people in a long time and you just want to catch up.
Sure.
When I see people like who are actively on their phones, like every now and then you're gonna be like, oh my God, I gotta show you something, or I gotta whatever, if you're catching up with your friend. But if people are like ignoring their friends who they probably had a hard time even connecting with in the first place to watch like Instagram or something, I'm like, are you kidding?
Or what about checking your work email or checking email in general? Like when you're in a conversation with somebody, that drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I'm guilty of it, but I will excuse myself often.
Yes, and we're all guilty of these like little things every now. Like we certainly are, but like I will say that I have been actively trying to be like less on this stuff. It is hard for our jobs because like even when we're not here, like ding, you get tagged in a
Sure.
post from work or you get whatever. And I'm sure there's a lot of jobs that are like that. But like when I'm with my friends, I want to try to like be with them.
Yeah, be present.
Yeah.
I think that's a really great way of looking at things too, because right now we're all in this like technological world where we're
Yeah.
all connected all the time.
Right.
And Anita's right. Just look at the spontaneous pictures. Someone is always on their phone.
Right.
Years ago, Mark says they told you to spend less time on TV. Not, it's the screens.
Now, yeah. Do you know people
Now
who
it's the
are
screens, yeah.
always dual screen, like the TV's on and their phones in their hand?
Yes. In fact, Russ is guilty of this. He will never
does.
admit this.
He loves to throw us in.
Well,
right under
because
the bus.
it's true. And I see it and I watch it and I'm just like, can we do something about this? Like Russ controls the remote in our house. Like, I don't care. Like, we're going to watch the same things all the time. It's either Judge Judy, Dateline,
Judge Judy.
Family Guy,
Oh,
the news, like we're just watching something and it's
uh-huh.
whatever.
Uh-huh.
But he'll turn something so stupid on and then just start scrolling. And I'm like,
Very
no,
familiar with
like
that.
I hate doing that. And that drives me nuts. Otherwise,
The time I'm on my phone the most, like when the TV's on, is when Paul is in charge of the remote because usually I'm like, what is this dumbness?
oh my God, Family Guy, so funny.
I mean, like there are parts that are funny. What's that other show? The one I hate? Oh, South Park.
South Park is funny.
Listen, I don't disagree that like there are concepts of it that are funny and things that are funny with it, but like
Uh-oh, what's
sometimes I'm
wrong?
just like,
Oh, thank
thanks,
you.
John. But like sometimes it's the voices. I can't listen to their
The voices. Paula says, vacations
funny, though.
from jobs used to be true vacation, but you're expected to check your email during. When I was on my medical leave, was I still checking emails? Yes.
Oh, Paula, let me answer this question for you. When I went to go check up on him one night and swung by without telling him I was coming by, which then afterwards I was like, was that a little rude? But I don't think
No, not at all.
I didn't think you actually cared
No.
because I was bringing you a little treaty. But that being said, I walked into his house. Here he is in his robe. Come on in. Like, here I come.
The thing I love about you,
waddle in.
right, is that you
You're in a robe.
Exactly.
I had like full on sweats. I have been at Wegmans, like, and I don't dress up outside of work these days. So I get in there, and this kid, I like waddle into his living room, and I'm like, what is happening? Is this a work computer setup? He's like, I had a meeting and this, and I'm like, you are supposed to be like recovering from a surgery right now. He's like, yeah, I think my incision hurts because I was sitting up all day and doing this. And I'm like, you have got to stop. I go, do you see that couch? Lay down, find some trash TV. Oh, Edward.
So yes,
You're a work addict. It's less of a
it's
stream, you're
true.
a work addict.
I just felt unproductive.
You're supposed to feel like that when you're recovering
I
from a
know.
surgery.
I know. And
Part of it is this job where you always feel like you have to know what's going on. You don't ever like to not be in the know.
it's true.
But sometimes you just need to.
Can I tell you about something? And I'd love for you to weigh in here. He wouldn't listen, Lauren says. I know.
Oh, and this is so true. Then the phone, the TV, computer, for your attention.
Well, and here we are. We invite you to join our Facebook Live every morning at 5:15 so that we could share your voice. And then we're like, oh, and watch on TV also. So we get it. I understand what you're saying.
Right.
We have been watching The Sopranos from season 1, the first episode, all the way till last night. We finally finished it. And I didn't realize it was the last episode until they were in the diner, in the booth, and Journey started playing. And I looked at Russ and I'm like, oh my God, this is the last episode, because that one scene is super iconic, but I had never seen it.
Uh-huh. I never saw The Sopranos.
Okay, you've got to watch it. It's very, very good.
My brother watches it. I like walk in and out on it sometimes. Yeah.
But I need to know what happened at the end. And this ended years and years ago, probably 20 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. But I need to know what happened at the end. They fade to black, they cut to black, it's silent, and Tony Soprano just looks
Oh my
up.
God. Okay, so their final season concluded in 2007. Here's a question, since you're watching such an older show, was there like stuff that you were like, oh my God, we don't have that anymore? Oh my God, we
The
don't have that
funniest
anymore?
references.
Yeah.
I mean, when the show first started out, They didn't have cell phones. Then Tony gets a flip phone, and it's just hysterical.
Yeah.
And like so many things you're just looking back on, you're like, oh my God, life was so much simpler.
Okay, Anita says no spoilers. Lord says don't ruin it. So you guys need to text Ed or shoot Ed a message if you want to talk about the ending of the
Russ and I were going back and forth. Caitlin's watching Wicked tonight. No one mourns the wicked. Get her.
Popular.
You can rent it, I think, for like $20.
Nice.
Which, what do you think? I mean, Caitlin, you tell me, is that a lot in your opinion, or do you think that beats having to go to the movie theater?
I'm not a movie theater person. Paul knows this. We've been married for 6.5 years. We've never gone to a movie together, I don't think.
Really?
I just don't like the movie theater.
Why?
Germs.
Okay.
And like, if I'm going to go sit in the darkness, there's a solid chance I'm going to fall asleep.
I know. Me too.
Because I mean, look, we work these weird schedules. So like, it's always a struggle for me to stay awake to see. So I have to really, really want to see a movie to like go to the theater.
I was a little concerned when we went to go see The Lion King last weekend that we were going to fall asleep, and actually it held our attention and kept us up, which I was so thankful for.
Yeah.
It was really good. By the way, that closes this weekend. So
at Shays?
Yeah.
See, that's different. I can go to Shays and I'm in. But it's like the movie, and now the seats are so comfy.
Yeah.
And then I think about everybody who sat on them. I can't do it.
How many farts are in those cushions?
Ew, that is so disgusting. Things like that. Like,
true.
do you know what someone just bought as a gift for the baby? And I like so appreciated this because I put it on my registry. It's the little thing that goes over the cart for when you go to a grocery store.
Yes, the cover.
Now listen, I know all the parents out there are laughing at me right now because they're going to be like, just wait until your kids start shoving handfuls of dirt in their mouth and you're just like, can't handle it. But like, I already wiped down my whole cart. Like, when I get on a plane, I wipe the whole plane seat. I wipe the person next to me, the tray table, the window. Like, I can't.
What is it like being you?
It's horrible. Anxiety. Just everything I think about. It's just so like, I hate being sick so much.
I know.
Like, so I got this like heart cover thing and I was like, woohoo. I'm so excited about it. Oh my God. It's like an antibacterial when it goes over and the kid goes in it. And like,
my sister, I was surprised about this. My sister's just like you in terms of like the anxiety of germs and like foodborne illness. She won't eat certain things past a certain date. Even if it's leftover.
that's so funny because that I don't really think about. I just think
I don't
about
either.
Yeah.
But she walks into the grocery store. We were in Wegmans together the other day. She wiped her cart off. I'm like, really? I was shocked. She works in the hospital, for Christ's sake. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was shocked.
Well, see, there's a lot of people who feel the same way. Lauren says dirt is different than germs. And my grandma used to say that, right? What was her line?
A
Gotta
pound of
eat
dirt.
A pound of dirt before you die. And I get that. Like if I drop something on the ground, like I might still eat it. Although I might not. I don't know. It depends on that moment and how much I want whatever I drop.
I get it.
But
I'm not going to pick something up and eat it from the newsroom floor, but like in my own house, I'm like, oh, it fell on the floor. It's fine. 5-second rule.
But then I think about that. Okay, it fell on the floor in your house. We both have dogs.
I know.
That's the other thing people talk about all the time is like shoes in the house. Like, and we like for the most part, I would say we'll take our shoes off. But like, I know a lot of people are strict, no shoes in the house. I'm not super strict on it. The only reason is I've got the dog.
Sure.
And I'm like, what is the difference between a shoe and the dog?
See, I think a lot of the things with the shoes is bringing in like the rain, the snow, like it just gets dirty.
Yeah.
Like otherwise,
But like if I go to the grocery store, I take my shoes off at the front door because I think that that's gross. But like if I don't know. I just think about the dog all the time because I'm like, what is he walking through? And I wipe his little paws off, but it's not like I'm sanitizing them.
Russ, this is so funny. And
Are you
we'll leave you with
laughing
this.
in pain? Are you okay?
No, I'm okay.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. The other day, we had to clean up a lot of the dog poop that was outside in the backyard because it was cold. We just didn't take her for a walk.
Yeah.
But Russ goes, okay, Ed, I need you to wipe her paws off because I was looking around and there were like paw prints in some of the piles. And so I'm like, okay, no problem.
Right, that's... Oh, God.
Oh, can you tell it's a Friday?
See, and I'm a big slippers person.
I am
have
too.
Slippers.
I love slippers.
That's what I do now. Like I slip into the slippers. And then I would say in the summer, I usually have like bare feet or
Sandals.
that like.
I know, I'm with you. Anyway, we got to get the show on the road. Have a great Friday, everyone. A great weekend. Go Bills. We'll see you Monday.
Go Bills.